Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Austin's Academy of Sports. My roommates are joining us again. Huge Thursday night game, divisional game. Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. Motor City will be rocking this Thursday, and it's going to be the day before Friday. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a great game. Both these teams are coming off of a win, a Thanksgiving Day win, where they stuffed their faces with turkey. Well, unless you're David Montgomery, he just had a carrot, but most of the players stuffed their faces with turkey, and it was a great Thanksgiving Day win for the Lions and Packers. But Lions not so much. They come on of a nail biter win against the Chicago Bears last Thursday. Bears could have won that game easily, and Caleb Williams just a few plays here and there that could have gone in the Bears' favor, and the Lions are looking to take that momentum from the win this week and prepare themselves even better for the Green Bay Packers. What were your guys' thoughts on the Lions Bears, or Daniel, the Packers Dolphins game last week? Sean, we'll start with you with the Lions Bears. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I first of all, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Moving on to the Bears-Lions game, I thought the Lions had an incredible first half, a very dominant defensive performance, and relatively strong on offense. They need to work on red zone capability to capsize, and get those points, the 7 points when you're in the red zone. They ended up having to get a bunch of field goals, which ended up leading to the Bears comeback in the second half. I thought the Bears really changed up their scheme. Caleb started playing better. I'm worried about the Lions moving on to their next week matchup against Lambeau, involving how many injuries we have. But regardless of the injuries, I think that the game was uh, the game was relatively a clean game by Detroit. Um, but with the Bears coming back, I think it was more of a coaching mistake. The Chicago Bears did end up firing their head coach. But the Lions did get a little lucky. I think they carry some momentum though from the win into the divisional game.
Yeah, it was a good game. The Bears and Lions kind of flip flopped the second and fourth quarters. In that second quarter, the Lions scored 13. Bears were held to 0, and then it reverse flipped there for the Bears. Lions fourth quarter, they made that comeback, but just fell short in the last 30 seconds, like you mentioned, Sean, with the failed timeout there. On the other side, the Dolphins played the Packers at Lambeau Thursday night. Daniel, what are your thoughts on that game? How they got the win?
I mean, everyone's gonna make the excuse of, oh, Miami's coming to town, they're playing the cold. Like, what did you guys expect? Like, they usually don't perform well, in the cold. I think that game overall was good. I just felt like towards the second half, we just kind of let them hit the gas pedal a little bit. Um, I mean, but hey, we kept it in and we were able to hold them off. But I just felt like at certain points we just kind of let them go on the gas pedal, let them score some touchdowns. But defensively, we didn't do too bad. I feel like Jordan Love, he's getting more comfortable now. I feel like he's more healed than he was early off in the season, dealing with that injury against the Eagles. Um, game looked really sharp. The one thing that does worry me is our offensive production in the third and like basically second half of the football game. We only scored a total of 6 points, both of those by field goals. Kind of concerning to me. We gotta be able to keep on that gas pedal and keep going, just like how we did in that first half. And I think overall it's gonna be a good game as we get on to the Bears and Lions.
Yeah, no, they should be a good game. I mean, the Lions Packers, the Lions did get the first win of their, not the season, but this two-game series earlier on in the season, in which Goff threw for 145 yards and one tud. Demont ran for 73 yards. St. Brown had 56 yards and a tud, and then Kirby Joseph had a pick six as well against Jordan Love earlier on in the season, convincing 24-14 win in Lambeau. On the other side, Jordan Love threw for 273 yards. Jaden Reed secured 113 yards. I could keep throwing stats out here every day, but it's about execution for the Packers. Jordan Love missed that interception to Kirby Joseph, and that kind of took the momentum away last game for the Lions and Packers. But for this game, who's the X factor for both teams? Sean, we'll start with you. Who's the X factor for the Lions in order for the Lions to come away with the Thursday night win this week.
X factor for the Lions has to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had a fumble last game in the Chicago game. I think he bounces back. I think he has some very nice runs and down the stretch. I think the running game between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is key for this win. Keeping time of possession out of Jordan Love's ball. The Packers have won 7 of their last 8 games. They are hot. I do believe Detroit's Jahmyr Gibbs and running game have to be the X factor.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, one of the best running back duos in the NFL. And on the other side, Daniel, who do you think your X factor is for the Packers to get an upset win against the Lions Thursday?
I really think it comes at the quarterback position. Quarterback, they view him as a leader of the organization, along with the organization, the team. So I think Jordan Love's going to be a key factor. Being able to, I feel like one big thing is being able to control the ball against the Lions. Defensively they are hurt, but I think they are still getting pressure defensively without Aiden Hutchinson. So I think being able to control the ball, along with that, it's not only Jordan Love. I do think Josh Jacobs has to be a bigger factor in this game. When he last played, he only had 95 yards and 13 carries. We've seen over the past couple of games that his production has gotten a little bit more better, and they're trying to establish that run game. So I think he's also going to be a factor in this division rematch.
Yeah,
So,
my X factor for the Lions has to be Kirby Joseph. He got that pick earlier against Jordan Love, and him and Xavier McKinney are fighting neck and neck for the interception lead in the whole National Football League. In order for the Lions to escape with that home cooking win, they got to have a good defensive showing in the secondary, which, because the defensive and the front seven is very thin, with middle linebackers Alex Anzalone out, Malcolm Rodriguez, defensive ends Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport. You could name the whole Detroit Lions defense on IR right now, but it doesn't matter. Speaking of the Lions, just this week we had 4 signings, but 3 key signings I want to mention. We'll start first with Jamal Adams. 340 tackles, 4 interceptions in 8 seasons in the NFL. Kind of could be an X factor for this game. Most likely not. We'll see if he even makes the call up to the big leagues this week. Could on a short week. I don't know if Dan Campbell will let him play. What are your thoughts, Sean, on Jamal Adams this game?
Thought it was a smart move by Detroit. They obviously needed the help, and Brad Holmes was up to the challenge. He knew that we had weaknesses going in on our team with a bunch of injuries going down. Over 10 players are on IR right now, including Aiden Hutchinson, most of them whom are on defense. So I thought the Jamal Adams signing it was a good signing. You signed him for cheap. He's on the practice squad. You're going to see that hopefully he learns the playbook. You're showing that, hey, we believe in our team. We got to go sign guys, free agents, hopefully veterans that can pick up on basic knowledge and skill and still have some sneaky athleticism in them.
Yeah, Daniel, now if Jamal Adams and the Packers were reverse split here, do you think Jamal Adams would find a spot on the Packers linebacker core, or do you think he would stay in the DB as a DB position?
I think if Jamal Adams came into the Packers, he'd probably be more of a practice squad guy. He is 29 years old. We're looking at Packers are a little younger. So I don't really know where he would actually be with the Packers. But I will say with the signings for the Lions, I think it's a good one. I feel like Adams has that biting of the kneecap mentality. He's the type of guy that wants to, go out there and, hit somebody. He's not that type of guy that's just gonna try to poke a twig at somebody and be like, hey, like, wake up type of deal. So I feel like, that signing for the Lions is actually pretty good. A lot of people are saying that he's washed. I mean, there is that discussion out there, but I feel like to another point, he still has some talent out there. He's only 29 years old. I think it's just finding a good scheme for him to truly fit in and be able to produce. So
Yeah, the Lions saw something in Adams, just like they saw something in Jonah Williams and Quan Alexander, 2 other signings for the Lions as well. Jonah Williams coming from the Rams. We kind of poached him off the Rams practice squad. He's just depth at the defensive tackle position, especially with, not Broderick Martin, DJ Reader showing up on the injury report today as we speak. He's got a little shoulder injury. Many defensive tackle positions are limited for the Lions, so he'll be depth. He's only got 3 tackles this year, bounced around from the Vikings and another team. I don't really remember which one it is. Oh, the Rams, yeah. Vikings and Rams practice squad. And then for Quan Alexander as well, he's kind of going to add some speed and agility to the linebacking core, along with Jamal Adams and Jack Campbell, our only healthy linebackers right now, and along with some other practice squad guys as well. But moving to the Packers, on the defensive side, they haven't avoided any injury, or they have avoided some injuries, specifically with 3 talented players: Quay Walker, Xavier McKinney, and Javon Bullard. Daniel, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Quay Walker this season? 89 tackles and 3 sacks.
I mean, Quay Walker, one big thing from last year I had a big issue with was his mentality. There was some questionable things that he did last year. I believe one of the times was when he either looked like or he shoved a medical assistant. I'm pretty sure it was against the Lions, and so that was pretty questionable. Um, yes, along that side, he's looked pretty good, produced pretty well. Again, I think this defensive scheme has helped him actually produce a lot better. The previous defensive coordinator, kind of forgot his name with how we've been playing defensively. But I definitely think that this scheme has helped him produce and be a lot better for this team.
Yeah, Sean, what are your thoughts on Xavier McKinney this year, leading the league with interceptions with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph?
Xavier McKinney is playing very well. I think he's a ball hawk. I think the safety matchup between uh, the Lions, Kirby Joseph, and the Packers, Xavier McKinney, I think it'll be a great duel. I do think that there will be a pick thrown um, in the next game. Not sure who to, but I believe that one of the top safeties will get a pick. I think they carry the momentum.
Yeah, Javon Bullard as well in that back field with Xavier McKinney. I believe he's a rookie, right, Daniel? Javon Bullard?
Correct.
From
Yes.
Georgia. He's got that dog mentality in him. 49 solo tackles this year, 1 pass deflection, and 0 interceptions. But he could be the one X factor in the backfield as well against Jared Goff. And with Taylor Decker kind of being on the injury report as well for the Lions, Quay Walker and Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary, the Michigan man. I know Sean likes that. Go blue.
Go blue.
But Rashawn Gary and Quay Walker could end up in the sack column as well, with Taylor Decker being out. One last thing for me, just score predictions for the game. Sean, we'll start with you. What do you think the score prediction is for this game?
Yeah, listen, this is at Ford Field. It's a Thursday night at 8:15 game. The Lions are carrying a ton of momentum. They're 11-1 right now. This is a divisional game between the Packers and the Lions. The Packers are a very hot team right now. So are the Detroit Lions. The Packers are on the way up. The Detroit Lions, they've been hitting a little bit of a slope. I do think Detroit squeaks this out by 3 points. I had the final score being 31-28 Lions in a shootout in the second half.
Daniel, what are your score predictions?
I want to say everything against what Sean just said. I will say I actually think the Packers are more of the hotter team right now. Lions, I think they're that sizzle is kind of touching water right now. It's kind of sizzling out. I think that things aren't going their way. They barely beat the Bears. I mean, Packers barely beat the Bears too, but I don't know. I just there's a strong feeling in me. We ain't gonna expect a Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary touchdown here, but I think we can see Jordan Love getting this victory for us with the close one. I'm gonna go with like a 31-28 against the Lions here.
All right, so he takes my score and he flips it. I think Daniel's wrong though, guys, because Josh Jacobs will struggle against the Detroit Lions running game. The Lions' weakness is the secondary. We'll have to see if Jordan Love can, capitalize on the weaknesses there. But I think with the stoppage of Josh Jacobs in the run game, I think that Aaron Glenn comes with a good scheme.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, both these teams have had a week to prepare, so it's not like any team is stacked up differently. It's just the injuries for the Lions. I agree with ESPN Tyler Fulghum. He's predicting a high scoring game. And I agree with both of you guys. It's going to be a shootout. Offense will have to step up for the Lions with the injury riddled defense. Taylor Decker, kind of like a game time decision, throwing it up there. In Ford Field, though, Lions coming off of that somewhat eked out win against the Bears, has a lot of questions raised against them this week. I know Dan Orlovsky, Pat McAfee, all have talked about them this week and will continue to talk about them. And Stephen A will continue to talk about the Cowboys, but I think the Lions are right up there with one of the best teams in the NFL. But hell with it. I'm still going with the Lions. 32-23 over the Packers. That's my score prediction, boys. Lions 32, Packers 23. Anything else you guys want to say?
Go Pack, go.
Let's go Lions.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And thanks for coming on to my podcast, Sean, Daniel. Till next time. See ya.